Oh, mic check 1 2. All right. Let's check our dashboard, make sure we're actually live and people can hear us. Welcome to the Jason Show. Let's test mic check 1 2.
Test mic check 1 2.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day. If not, hope it gets better. I'll try to make it better, okay? It's going to be a brief stream today, brief video. So, any questions, make sure to put them down, okay? All right, so things that have happened this week. A lot of things have been happening in the news lately. Crazy things. Fires in LA. My hometown. I was born probably 30 minutes south of LA, but consider LA pretty much part of my hometown. My home area. But yeah, what else has been going on? Fires. Diet Coke is trending. Interesting. Just bought some yesterday. Trump wants to buy Greenland and Canada for some reason. Yeah, well, really not much tech related though. A lot of tech. AI is probably going to be the big news around right now. AI advancements. They announced that ChatGPT Pro subscribers for $200 a month were actually using more than $200 a month worth of bandwidth and server costs. I was thinking I have to scale back on that because apparently it's so good that people are using it way more often. My feeling is that they're just using it to use it and probably having a bot use it or whatever. I don't think a human needs that much information. Humans can't process that much information. Man, why was someone really tired? Yeah. What else should we talk about? And I think coming from an IT person as of a media organization, newspaper, television, websites, news, breaking news. It was rough, man, but we were kind of separated because we just need to make sure that it could actually be the information could actually be like prompted to people in a timely manner, right? We don't if something went wrong, that's when we stepped in and made sure everything was working right. But we weren't in charge of producing the content on the sites at all. Like that wasn't our thing. Like that was the reporters and photographers' jobs. But we served them. We made sure to help them. And I think and I kind of like reporters. They're pretty good people, right? They get along with most people. Um a lot of people blame reporters for having political bias and showing that in their stuff, but they really try to be for the most part they try to be very neutral and report the facts as much as they can and help people see both sides. But if you definitely have an organization to the right or left that are like wanting specifically to show that view, then you can usually tell. And it's just human bias. Humans are biased. That's what they are. Everybody has lived experience that biases them in a certain direction. It's okay. How you grew up. Sometimes you kick the against the pricks, but you go and try and do something else, or you just go way off the deep end on the other side because you felt so oppressed or repressed. But which could be, but it's neither here nor there. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. You're gonna fall in love with what you fall in love with. Um, yeah. So I think reporting on things, and you see this in a lot of content nowadays. It's like people just don't want to make new content. They just want to like take other people's content and riff on that commentary, right? And I mean, commentary has been big forever, right? Talking heads have been a thing since the 50s or 60s. But yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna not get commentary anymore. But human stuff is human stuff, and humans like human things. Sometimes they like robot things, but for the most part, they don't really care about robot things. You'll notice this when people are creating a bunch of stuff with ChatGPT, but no one wants to read it. It's like everything on social media right now because you guys don't even realize how many videos are uploaded a day, and they're actually probably pretty good videos, but no one will ever know because no one will ever be able to see it. They'll get 10 views and that's it, and no one will ever see it again. And maybe it'll resurface years from now. That's the kind of stasis of YouTube, but for the most part, they won't. But there's so many uploaded, so many. And I do this all the time. I go to incognito browser and I check like anytime I want to like review a YouTube video or something about somebody put up, someone asks, hey, can you review this, to roast it, whatever you want me to do. I'll go do it by doing an incognito video, and I search for the topic and I try and find the video. And that never happens. I have to search usually the exact text frame because there's so many videos that do that topic, and that yours will never actually be able to get into the slot of whatever your category or topic was, because there's just so many good YouTube videos out there first that will get seen before yours. And sometimes it could be a fluke. Sometimes something could happen and you can probably get a viral video, but I don't think I've ever personally had a viral video. I probably had a viral post one on some Reddits or something, but for the most part, I don't think that's possible for the little man or little woman working on stuff. Just fine, as long as you carve out a little bit of your area, your land, your plot, should say. Then I think it'll be fine. I think it goes to show you that it's like, since humans want to be humans with humans, right? And it's like the digital aspect of everything kind of puts a filter in front of that, saying that like this is how we think the world works because this video, this person said something or told a story or whatever. But there's this filter that's put in between you and the video, and that's like your computer screen, right? Like it your brain realizes that most likely it isn't real, but you need to convince yourself that whatever they're doing on the video is actually real, right? And not fake and not staged, right? And I see this all the time now, and once you see it, you'll never stop seeing it. But the idea of a staged video, right? You just know it's not quite right. You know that something's not working. You feel like this wouldn't actually happen in real life like this, right? And sometimes, for the most part, people just don't even notice, right? People don't think like me, but or other people. It's just like they just see the thing and like, oh, this is funny. They're doing a little skit thing, right? Or they're just meeting some people on the street. It's like, most likely if you met some person on the street and you were pranking them, like they would sue you. And so, especially with some of the bad pranks. And so most likely everybody that came up there was like, hey, we're doing this thing, can we get you on video for it, right? It's like they're not oblivious to the camera. They know it's there. It's right in front of their face. Like, but they don't say anything about it. Like, no, obviously they asked ahead of time, or, you could tell when something's like a real prank or something like that. But it's like the old candid cameras. Have you ever seen any of those? Go YouTube some of them. We're like, I don't know, the camera's here. It's like, oh yeah, that's actually illegal. Well, it's not technically illegal, but unethical, I should say. But yeah, I think if you try your best to try and look at that and say, oh, this is fake, isn't it? You'll actually figure it out really quickly. I think a lot of people in college and other things are kind of waking up to this, where it's like, They're like the career path cannot be this bad. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, do good in school and then graduate and then be all like, oh yeah, I got an entry level job. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna get promoted every 2 years. Everything's gonna be dandy. It's like once they get their first 2 years in, they're like, this is. I remember specifically first 2 years of my full time career. Man, it was tough work sitting somewhere 8 hours a day and doing something you didn't necessarily love to do. Right. In college, you could kind of, you got to go to class, but then afterwards you're free to do whatever you want. But this is 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you know? It's a lot of work just sitting there doing your thing. You really need to like something. And I think you get old enough, you'll get burnt out of doing the things you're good at. Because when you're good at something and somebody recognizes you're good at something, your value to them instantly becomes you working for this one thing, right? They don't want to appreciate any of your new ideas. They want to appreciate any of you trying to get another promotion. They want you right where they are because you fit very well into that mold. You fit very well. You know what to do, and you're cheap because most likely you're young. So you're cheap, right? And it's like that's why most fast food restaurants hire teenagers because that's the only people they can get, right? And a few others. I really like working at fast food. Hmm. But I think that if you try your darndest to stay curious throughout your career and keep changing when you need to change and make the change when you know you need to, then I think you would do well. But I think you always need to be kind of pursuing knowledge. Like that's the number one irrevocable rule that you always need to be improving because if you stop improving, you'll get bored, you'll get tired, you'll get blatant. Is that the word I'm looking for? You will get very mad at yourself because you're not progressing and your just soul just feels like ugh, like this is hard for me emotionally doing nothing of use of value. We humans need to feel valued and we need to give value in order to receive value. So not giving value to other people, you're a hermit and whether you're out in the world or not, it doesn't matter because no one knows about you or cares about you. So you need to keep learning. You need to keep learning for other people too. You need to be able to mentor them. And you can't mentor people if you don't know what to do. Right? If you live no life experience, you can't mentor people. Now, a 25-year-old might be able to mentor a 20-year-old really well because they're 5 years ahead of them. And the quote that I remember specifically was that you need a mentor that's 5 years, 10 years ahead of you and 10 years behind you. A mentee 10 years behind you. And so you can give real life advice to the younger person and get real good advice from the person older than you. Always keep two mentors there, okay? That'll help you a lot. Help you come to a deep understanding about even your own life. Man, I'm really tired. And the third secret is to collaborate with others, okay? You can't go through this world alone. We're not meant to. There's 7 billion people on earth. Most of them speak our language. But you need to be able to make sure that you're talking with them, that you're interacting with them, that you're coming up with ideas together and you're helping each other out and supporting each other because we won't make it otherwise, right? Essentially, that's what governments do. They're there to make sure that we work together, but that ends up not being how great it should be, anyways. So it's never too late to change your career. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. But most of the time, you don't even need to reinvent yourself. You just need to express yourself of who you are because we get so in our heads sometimes that like there's this loop in our head that just goes, oh, I'm horrible, oh, I'm stupid. It's like, yeah, if there's this loop that just keeps going, it's going to keep going like that forever. There needs to be some external force that pushes out on it to say you aren't horrible, you aren't stupid, and you're only going to get that if you talk with other people and get out of your own brain. If you don't get out of your own brain, over. Done. But other than that, I don't think we got any questions today, which is fine. But if you're trying to figure out how to do something, the best way to best way to take care of it or find the answer is to find someone who's been through the problem already, has come up with a solution, and their life is better for it. Find that person and do whatever you need to do to get into their inner circle, get in whatever to get the solution about how they did it. Because if you have an example like that, you can instantly follow the example. And even if it's not 100% compatible with you and your personality, you still know how to do it. And you will take that solution and you will make it your own. You'll realize that this is actually the way to do it with this little tweak here, and you'll take it and actually do it. Whereas if he just sent you an email, said, "Oh, this is how I fix this," most likely be like, "Oh, that sounds great," like, and not really care about it later on because you don't have any emotional connection to it. Unless you try it. Unless you try it and it works, then obviously that's a lot stronger. So collaborate with others and do that by mentoring or being a mentee, depending on what your situation is. But other than that, I think we're gonna end that here. It's gonna be a brief one. We don't have any questions, so it's okay. But if you want to know about more tech careers, STEM careers, club255.com. That's where you want to go, okay? A whole newsletter there. I write daily about everything that has to do with STEM careers and self-expression and a lot of other things because I'm a polymath and I talk about a lot of things. But go there, club255.com, join it. And yeah, you will go far. Go very far. Okay? Catch you next Thursday, boys. Peace.